All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tonight we're talking about the Detroit Lions 24-23 home victory in the playoffs. The 12-5 Detroit Lions get their first playoff win in over 30 years. It was a spectacle to see. I had like 10 family members at that football game. I was sitting there thinking to myself, in the fourth quarter, man, could you imagine if this Detroit Lions team could consistently put together 4 complete quarters? They would win the Super Bowl. And the point of that is not to rag on Detroit, because we have to keep in mind, like, pretty much like 13, 14 months ago, this Detroit Lions team was like a 1-6 squad. They finished the season 9-8. You bring all that momentum. You bring in guys like Sam Laporta, Brian Branch, Jack Campbell, free agent additions in Cameron Sutton. You bring in guys like CJ Gardner-Johnson. Of course, I can't think of him at the time of this recording, but you get the point here. Like, the Detroit Lions last season really got that momentum back on their favor, and this season we saw them win 12 football games, and it was, all those 5 losses were so interesting because it was like, this weird loss to the Chicago Bears, a loss that they shouldn't have even had against the Dallas Cowgirls. You lost to my Green Bay Packers on Thanksgiving, but it's a short week. You lost to the Ravens 38-6. In the second week of the season, you came back, but you ultimately lost to the Seattle Seahawks. All season we're sitting here evaluating this Detroit Lions team, and we're thinking like, damn, man, like, they'll put together like 3 really good quarters, and then maybe like the third quarter or the fourth quarter, they'll kind of, tail off, they'll taper off a little bit, but they'll still get the victory. And so I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, like, this Detroit Lions team is still learning how to win football games. But what's crazy is, in the meantime, they're winning football games. Like, who can't this Detroit Lions team not beat? So obviously we're going to be talking about yesterday's victory in tonight's video, but before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Lions fans, you guys have rocked with me for like a year and a half. I appreciate you guys so much. If we could try and give this video to 500 likes, it would mean the absolute world to me. So I'm sitting here and I'm watching this Buccaneers-Eagles game, and I live here in Southwest Florida, so I'm rooting for Tampa Bay. I'm also, I feel like a lot of people, not a Philadelphia sports fan. And no matter who wins this game, it just, at this point, I think it's like the fourth quarter, Tampa Bay is going to win this football game. It didn't even matter. Detroit can beat any team in this league. And I watch a game like yesterday against the Los Angeles Rams where they really squeak it out, man. They were up 21 points to 17 Rams at halftime, and I just felt good. I felt confident. They put up 3 points in the third quarter. They didn't score in the fourth, but the defense really stepped up in the second half. They only gave up a combined 6 points. And, this is a Los Angeles Rams team where Matt Stafford just threw for 367 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Rams started the season 3-6. They finished 10-7. Like, they weren't supposed to be here. But we have to remind ourselves, like, outside of Lions fans and like maybe some aware NFL folks, nobody really expected this Detroit Lions team to win the football game. And all I heard today on like sports radio and sports TV is, how the Rams got shafted by penalties. And it's just crazy to me how the Detroit Lions are one of the best teams in the NFC. But for some weird reason, like, people know the future is bright in Detroit. But I don't think people can fully grasp that what they're doing this early on is spectacular. And you're playing a Philly or you're playing a Tampa. Tampa's up right now with 15 minutes left in the fourth quarter, 25-9. Like, Detroit's beating Tampa. They've beat them once this season. It wasn't even close. It wasn't even competitive. And once again, I'm a Buccaneers supporter because I live in the area. Like, this Detroit team, and some of you guys get annoyed that I say this in a lot of Lions videos, but like, I'm a Packers fan, man. I feel like it's worth saying, like, the Lions are really freaking good, and it's only a matter of time whether it's this upcoming weekend against the winner of this game, whether it's in the NFC Championship, whether it's even in the Super Bowl, or even if it comes next season when you have another stellar draft. I can only imagine with the Lions management squad and their evaluators and their coaching staff making the most out of their draft picks and their new acquisitions. You've got cap space. You've got a hungry young defense that's like probably 2 moves away from being severely above average. And I'm just sitting here and I'm thinking like, wow, man, everybody's talking about these no calls from the Rams and Matt Stafford going down and basically getting concussed. And he comes out here and he looks so impressive, even though he's so banged up. And I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, like, where's the Lions' praise? And what's crazy about it, and we talked about this in our immediate recap video last night, like the Lions didn't play a complete football game. And yet they're still coming away with victories. And so I have no reason to believe why the Detroit Lions won't be paired up against the San Francisco 49ers or the Green Bay Packers. Now, obviously, we'll deal with this as it comes. And we're going to be making daily Lions content this upcoming week, but it's so baffling to me how young and learning this team, trying to win and just watching it on a week-to-week basis. And, defensive players are stepping up. CJ Gardner-Johnson's back from injury. Kirby Joseph had that hit on Tyler Higbee. And I know, now they've banged up 2 tight ends. I didn't really realize that Tyler Higbee had torn his ACL at the time. So I regret my statement on that. But it's like, these hungry hitters on the defensive side, like even if statistically they're not an above average defense, like these guys want it so freaking badly. And the defense did such a good job in the second half, and they did such a good job yesterday outside a handful of plays. And once again, we got to keep in mind how young this team is, man. Like the future is so bright, folks. The Detroit Lions just won a playoff game for the first time in my lifetime. I'm about to be 25 years old. They haven't won a playoff game in over 30 years. Like, let's enjoy this moment. And obviously, I'm not talking about Lions fans when I'm mentioning this. It's just like, let's steer away from nitpicking certain teams and certain sport leagues, and let's just enjoy this process. I look at Jared Goff and I'm like, 22 of 27, 277 yards and a touchdown, and he didn't even play the way I know he can play. The running room, 25 carries, 79 yards, 2 touchdowns, but they only averaged 3.2 yards per carry. And I'm watching this and I'm like, David Montgomery made an impact. Jameer Gibbs made an impact. They both had touchdowns last night, but I'm sitting here watching like, this team has so much more left in them. And now I'm getting an even healthier Sam Laporta. And I just have such an enticing young football team. And I'm listening to these guys talk about the squad and they're nitpicking. And I'm like, what does society come to? And I apologize for this rant. I don't mean it to be negative. I mean it to be so pro Detroit Lions. Like, it's just baffling to me. This Detroit Lions team is so freaking legit, and their future is so bright. Let's just sit back and enjoy it. So, Lions fans, because by the time this video uploads, this Buccaneers win will probably have happened by now. Let me know what you guys are thinking about the Rams win. Let me know what you're thinking about the Buccaneers win, and we will see you tomorrow. Peace.